Yo, what's up, you Tubanites? Welcome to Cover Price Shakers show for the week of where are we at today? Geez, we're already March 5, 2026 already, everybody. Welcome in. If this is your first time here, my name is Gabe. I love 90s comic books, and I'm here to bring all the fun of the Shakers Report rolling solo tonight, everybody. I have no friends with me tonight, but that means I get to hang out with all of you watching tonight, hanging out in the chat. It's going to be a show with me and the chat today, guys. We're going to be doing this together. We're going to hang out. We're going to make this work. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. But I am running solo tonight. I am nothing if not able to improvise and go off the top of my head and turn lemons into lemon water and bananas into banana splits, whatever the sayings are. But I'm here to make this work out with everybody today. And I'm pumped and excited. And I'm happy that we're going to do this tonight because there's some fun books on the Shaker Report today. Then after that, make sure you guys stick around because then I'm going to go into the Shaker Report and see what's shaking on Cover Price, which I have forgot to pull up. So let me pull that up now and kind of get that ready to go. So Laura's at a con, I believe. Is it C2E2 this weekend? I don't know. It's March. Is she going to C2E2? I think it is C2E2. I might be right. She's going to be in Chicago. So if anybody is watching who's from the Chicago area, if you're going to C2E2, make sure you carve out a little bit of time to go visit Laura. And I'm pretty sure Anthony is going to be there at the Bird City Comics booth. I'm sure, knowing those guys, that they're going to have some awesome, cool covers. They're going to have a great booth, some great comics, and they're just great people. Honestly, hanging out with them is going to be worth going down that aisle, finding them in the slog and the craziness that is convention sometimes. But make sure you make that effort to go visit Laura and go visit Anthony and everybody else at the Bird City booth. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this party started, everybody. Bear with me. I'm going to make this work. So we're going to do the Shakers Report. We're going to make everything work out today. I just got to jumble around, bringing up notes, looking at the chat. I'm going to be reading, looking up notes, looking at the chat. I'm spinning a bunch of wheels today. This is all going to work out perfectly fine today. So I hope everybody had a good week so far. Happy Friday Eve as I pull up all the fun stuff today. So let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome to the Shaker Show. We are going to go over all the interesting sales. There's no real indicators of the list. They're not in alphabetical order or anything like that. It's usually just by price. But these are just data-driven sales that the fine folks at Cover Price has accumulated, aggregated, all those other fun, trendy internet words that's really for data dorks. That's going to give us this list of interesting sales, high sales, a lot of times new high sales, books that haven't been around for a while that just popped up out of nowhere. I love this show because we always get to find new comic books that not even I know about. That sounds ridiculous, but books that I always learn stuff. I find new books this week. I hope you guys find some new books this week too, and a lot to discuss. So, where is all my notes? There it is. Let's roll with the party today, everybody. And in the meantime, let's get started on the Shakers Report. We're going to go bring up this data, all this fun stuff today. But as we roll with that, where is that video I wanted to play? There it is.
What's shaking YouTubenites? Welcome to Lords of Longbox Fancy Cover Price Comic Book Shakers of the Week.
That's it. Let's go. First shaker for today, everybody. Hold on to your seats. Strap in. That's not the Shaker Report. Let me bring this back up again. There we go. All right, check this book out, everybody. Let's jump into it. We got Amazing Spider-Man. This is the all detergent promotional issue. Man, I wish we still had cool promotional stuff like this, like Box of the Tide that came with records. But this is a Tide, or not Tide, excuse me, all detergent promotional issue that came out from Marvel. This is 1979, written by Stan Lee, interior art by the one and only John Romita Sr., and of course the cover art. It's a beautiful cover by John Romita also. All right, so in 1970, Stan Lee was a busy man. In addition to serving in addition to serving as the editor-in-chief at Marvel, he was overseeing the writer's bullpen while making arrangements to step in as the publisher for Marvel. Looking to save time, Stan Lee opted for a retelling of Spider-Man's origin story for Amazing Spider-Man number 94, leaving the majority of the work on the book to Amazing Spider-Man artist John Romita and inker Sal Buscema. Man, what a dynamite team right there. John Romita and Sal Buscema. While the last part of Wings of Death focused on a battle between Spider-Man and the Beetle, the first 2/3 of the book acted as a clip episode, retelling Peter Parker's history up until this point. When kids open up their giveaway copy of the all-detergent Amazing Spider-Man in 1979, this is the story that they were given. In addition, the promotional issue also reprinted Where Flies the Beetle, that was originally published in Spider-Man number 20, alongside The Secrets of Spidey, which included information about his abilities, his mask, and the costume. Found in the wild, raw copies of this book have ranged from $3 to $23 over the past 5 years. Graded copies have also been popular, and 9.8 have been scarce until now. This week though, everybody, a CGC graded copy, 9.8, sold for $366, outperforming the market value by almost $70. Wow, that's a lot of crazy stuff going on with this book, everybody. Is there a way I could bring this up? I don't know how to change the thing on here. Either way, look at that. What a great cover. You got peanut butter and chocolate on the cover here. Not because you got sticky fingers and you're eating Reese's or anything like that, but because you have John Romita and you have Sal Buscema doing the artwork on this cover. It's a reprint, but not only do you get a reprint of the actual story from 94, you get actual little tidbits in it, like here's his costume, here's how his abilities work, here's some information about the mask, cool fun stuff like that when you're a kid, that's the stuff that really stuck out, is when you got it's almost like when you used to get like the Marvel trading cards or even baseball cards. It's all about the stats on the back, right? Like how strong they are, how smart they are, what their determination is and their agility, and all those little scales. So that was a cool little add-on for this. And can you imagine your mom coming home to do laundry? She buys herself a brand new box of Tide, and what do you get? It's a cool comic book in there. Excellent stuff, man. Excellent stuff here. So there's some fun stuff here on this tonight. I'm going to bring up some comments. I'm not missing out on you guys. I'm here. I see you guys. You have been seen, and I appreciate everybody here. We got 56 people here chilling tonight as we go through the very first shaker. Nobody seems to have this book yet. This is going to be one of those books. It's the Shakers Report, everybody. It's the Oprah list. It's the Proof of Life list. So let's keep the party going. We're going to make this train continue here. Let's move on to Shaker number 2. This is a cool book. Check out how sweet this is, everybody. This is Bloodborne, Revenge of the Butcheress. Must be my mother-in-law. Issue number 1, but this is the Michael Dipscal. I probably mispronounced that, but excuse me. Michael Dipscal variant that was limited to 100 copies. This came out from Digital Webbing back in 2009. This is written by Chad Lambert, art by David Miller, and of course the cover, like I said before, this is the variant cover from Michael DePascal. Shout out to all of them for their work and effort on this book. But you have to go back to 2002 when Terminal Reality released the popular adventure game Bloodrayne across multiple platforms. The name of the game was exactly that, bloody. Even with a modest storyline, it gained a decent following, above average ratings, and sparked a series of live-action films. As the game's popularity grew, Digital Webbing created a comic book adaptation to build on the success. Although the street date for the first release, Bloodrayne Skies of Fire #1 was November 1st, 2004, Digital Webbing sneaked out a few copies of a special preview edition to select retailers, along with a pre-order bundle with the Bloodrayne 2 Deliverance video game, which launched a month later. Now, the backstory is out of the way. This is a limited 100 copy of Bloodrayne Revenge of the Butchers, recently sold for an all-time high of $315. Not graded, guys. That's a raw dog book going for $315. This is one of the rare times this copy has surfaced, and fans of Michael Dipascal may recognize the artwork from his DeviantArt page back in 2009. Granted, this may not be high on everyone's wish list, but a sale like this only recognizes that Bloodrayne still has an underground following who is highly anticipating her return. I remember some of these movies. I remember the game. The movie, I remember at least one of them was done by Yui Boll, who was pretty infamous for all the movies he made. Going Postal, I think, was another movie that he did. I think he's done multiple. Hi, everybody. He did multiple video game movies, if I remember correctly. But that was a cool book. Again, we were talking about promotional comic books a lot this week on this list. Kind of seeing a little bit of a trend here, which kind of happens with the Shakers list a lot of times. So we're talking about promotional books so far. You got the all detergent promotional comic. You got this Bloodrayne book that for $315 for a raw book. It didn't even say the grade, like the expected grade. I don't know if it was near mint. It could have been a fine. Who knows? But I like that because these are the kind of books that go under the radar. A lot of times you get them and you go, oh, that's cool. I've done it before. I get like the comic book that came in the Batman Begins DVD. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I chucked it. I was like, I flipped through it and threw it away. Like, no big deal. I thought it was just a promotional flyer kind of thing. But those things are expensive, these promotional books that come out. But yeah, that's sweet, dude. I like that stuff. That was a crazy, creepy cover. I don't remember a lot of the video games, though. I think it's just one of those things. I just wasn't into like video games with like that kind of weird violence a lot of times, even though I was really into like Gears of War and stuff like that for sure. But that Bloodrayne book or video games just didn't do it for me for some reason. Were these Bloodrayne movies any good? Your mileage will vary. It depends on what you want to consider good. I'm trying to remember the actress's name who was in those movies. But yeah, so that works. Let's move on, everybody. Number 3 this week. Look at this creepy cover, everybody. For Chillville, #1. This cover doesn't really go with something called Chillville. This guy does not look chill, nor does he give me any kind of chill vibes at all. Let's take a look at Shaker #3, folks. Chillville #1. from 10 Gram Publishing in 1993. We got a 90s comic on this list, guys. Sweet. Our first 90s comic of the list. This is written by Glenn Chadbourne. Interior art, also by Glenn Chadbourne. And you'll never guess who the cover artist is. It's Glenn Chadbourne. Independent horror books from the early 1990s have quietly become a hunting ground for collectors. That's a fact. I'll stop right there for a second. So there's something right now going on with horror, monster, supernatural comic books. Not something's going on. It's not like, it just seems like that is on a lot of people's radar and is showing up a lot more in the Shakers list. Either way. And Chillville, #1, is quickly proving that. The recent $425 sale for, again, not a graded book, guys, $425 for a near mint raw dog sale now stands as the highest record price for the issue. A massive leap for a comic that sold for under $40 prior to 2023. Over the last 2 years, prices have surged dramatically with notable sales, including in 2024, a $400 sale, and in 2025, a $326 sale, before reaching this current peak of $425. With only 10 recorded sales in total, the book rarely surfaces, and when it does, clearly collectors are willing to pay and are willing to compete for this book. Part of the appeal lies in the creator. Chillville was written and illustrated by horror artist Glenn Chadbourne, who later became widely known for illustrating works tied to Stephen King and other horror authors. Chadbourne began publishing horror-themed comics and artwork in the late 1980s and early 1990s, before his career expanded into book illustration for major genre publishers. The comic itself, this is a 52-page black and white horror one-shot, originally published by a small press company called 10 Gram Publishing in 1993. Small indie print runs from this era were often extremely limited, and many were sold locally or through niche horror circles. As a result, surviving copies can be surprisingly scarce decades later. Another factor driving the recent price surge is the complete absence of graded copies. Every known sale of Chillville #1 has been a raw copy. So all those big sales that were $400, $326, those are all raw dog books. That means collectors looking to secure high-grade copies must rely on extremely limited raw listings rather than establishing slab populations. In a market this thin, each new appearance becomes a major event. The book's reputation as a hard-to-find indie horror comic has grown steadily in recent years, particularly among collectors who focus on obscure small press horror from the late 20th century. As more collectors discover Chadbourne's early work and trace his career back to projects like Chillville, the man has begun to outpace the supply. If even a handful of collectors begin grading copies or chasing high-grade examples, this already scarce one-shot could become harder to track down. Seriously, like, could you imagine? There is not much going on with the availability of this comic book, right? It's very scarce. There's only been a handful of sales. They're all raw sales. I wonder, I would, if I was any of these guys that paid that kind of money to buy these hopefully high-grade copies near mint, get it graded. I would love to see these graded books come up. Mainly that's my idea of grading a lot of times is keeping the preservation of comic books, right? So books like this that are very, very hard to find. Like I said, you can only find it in like certain little indie horror kind of circles of things. You might be able to find it at like a horror convention. If anybody goes to horror conventions, like horror movie cons and stuff like that. A lot of times they have comic books there, but it's all horror comics. You know, it's all like Freddy Krueger stuff, things like that. You might be able to find that stuff in one of those tables, one of those vendors. That's where I would look if I was looking for something like this. But that's the type of stuff that should get graded to keep preserved, since they're so hard to find. And most of that stuff probably just gone to the winds, right? They probably just read it until it fell apart, lost it in the move, you know, all the typical stories, you know, I went to the military and mom threw away my comic book collection, stuff like that. So it's probably a victim of those same circumstances that we get a lot with people's collections. All right. So, you know what? This dude at Jay says, Brooklyn, thank you. Let's give a thumbs up for the episode today, guys. Not just because it's me, but just in particular for the information we're giving out, the fun that we're all having together, and for the love of the channel and for the love of the game. But that's it, everybody. Number 3 is Chillville. Number 1. Imagine waking up to that. Ugh. That is creep town. All right, moving on. Before I do move on, I seem to have a new guest in the house. Let's see. We got a special guest, everybody. What up, Matt?
What up? How's it going?
Did we change this up? We're here
I saw
together.
you struggling here alone. Actually, you're doing a great job by yourself.
Oh, I'm struggling, huh?
But no, not struggling at all. But you felt lonely, so
definitely lonely.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
It's a hard show to like do on your own. Not again, you're doing a great job. But it's one of those things where it's like it definitely takes like it's fun to look at this stuff together. And I was like, I can't leave him alone, just hanging out there by himself tonight. So
yeah, it's always you need somebody to bounce this kind of stuff off of, right?
For sure.
I get tired of my voice after a while. So
Lord of Brooklyn's asking where his shirt. Did he not get his shirt?
I don't know. Did you guys send him a shirt? We got
Lord of Brooklyn. If you've not got your shirt, that is on John. So reach out to John at CovrPrice.com and say, "Where's your elephant?" Or your shirt.
Your elephant. If you see him, Jay says Brooklyn, make sure you get him in an arm bar. Like just get him on the floor and just break his arm.
John would always say this as well. And would come tackle me at conventions. I was like, let's not do that because someone will do that.
Because John's not a small guy, but he's not a big guy. Like somebody could probably pick him up and carry him around a little bit, you know?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, challenge accepted, Matt. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't think he would like that at all.
What I like is the hair ratio we have going on here.
I know it's well, I would always say like when it's 2 people, it's okay, but 3 people's a problem, right? Mm-hmm. You get raised eyebrows if there's too many of us.
Well, it's the bald brotherhood here today, guys. Let's go.
Right.
Matt, when you wash your face, how far back do you go up your head?
Oh, well, it depends. In the shower, you do everything. But
sure, but like
face, you just splash. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just weird. I'll wash it all the way to the back. I go, and I just wash like basically my whole head at that point. That's a bald guy like situation. Like, how far do I go?
Which everyone understands here. All right. I'm bringing up the script, so let me know if you want me to take anything.
All right, I'll do number 4 as you bring everything up, and you start with 5.
Yep.
And then we'll just go from there, even in odds to then.
All right.
All right. All right, guys. Cool. I got a special guest today. I got company today. So let's go with it, everybody. Number 4, Enchanted Tiki Room. Number 1, Brian Kinzer Orange Bird variant. This is a 1 in 50 Marvel Comics 2006. I'll give you guys a heads up. I've never heard of this book. So let's read this and see what we got going on. We're all learning something here today. So this is written by John Adams. Not that John Adams. Interior art by Horatio Dominguez. Cover art by Jason Grant. So in 1963, less than 10 years after Disneyland opened, a new Polynesian-themed attraction opened at the park. It was the first attraction to feature audio animatronic technology, and at the time, it was a groundbreaking experience for park attendees. The popularity of the attraction resulted in a similar attraction debuting in Florida's Disney World, which was called Tropical Serenade, which was later renamed to the Enchanted Tiki Room. The attraction went through several refurbishments, most recently last year, but it maintained the same spirit. It is such an integral part of Disney that a comic book was created to add to the lore of the attraction. The comic taps into several different stories, almost like an anthology that was intersected. The 5-part series add backstories to the birds, the tiki gods, and the overall island where the Enchanted Tiki Room resides. This 1 in 50 cover just made a $100 raw, another raw dog, folks, $100 raw near mint sale, bringing the raw value closer to what the last CGC 9.8 sale was, which is $120. This collector must love Disney and the significance of the orange bird cover. The orange bird featured on this 1 in 50 variant was a character created to represent the Florida Citrus Commission, which sponsored the Enchanted Tiki Room. The mascot would often be used to sing and promote Florida citrus. His incorporation into the Enchanted Tiki Room has brought the little orange bird notoriety and fame for fans of Disney history. Wow. Matt, did you know about this book?
Yeah, no, totally. So, I mean, so in, what was it? Man, I think it was like 2016. No, it was like 2014 to 2017. Marvel did a series of what under the Disney Kingdoms banner. So titles that you'll probably remember, Haunted Mansion. That was a popular line. Actually, one of my favorite covers is a Katie Cook stretching room cover. I think it was Haunted Mansion 3. Then there was also Figment. So they did a Figment comic book series, that 1 in 100 and 1 in 150. For a while, those are pretty pricey books. I mean, they're still very hard to find. Then
I didn't expect too many stores ordering 150 copies.
No, I mean, none of these Disney books were always like, that's the thing. That's what actually makes this book so interesting, is because, you know, a lot of stores were only ordering for probably pull customers, right? They probably weren't going heavy, or, you know, Disney books, if that, but Disney books do move. So, you know, if you were, you know, a 1 in 10 is probably possible, but a 1 in 50 is like, no, forget it. That's those are pretty hard to find. I think under $100 is probably a little bit of a steal, because there were some other titles in this line. There was Seekers of the Weird, which is an awesome series. If you can find that, those variants for that are fantastic and super hard to find. We've covered those, man, back with Tim. I think we did back in like 3-4 years ago. We did a couple of the Seekers of the Weird covers. It was like that. It was based off a Museum of the Weird exhibit that they were going to do at Walt Disney World, and I think at Disneyland, and they scrapped it. But then they took the concept and made it a comic book. So all this stuff existed in print form for the first time, actually just in any form for the first time in those comics. And then there was Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which was another one. So those were all the books that were under the Disney Kingdom stuff.
Was that all based around like the Disney World?
Not all.
I never knew about Figment my entire life until that comic book came out. It's the first time I heard.
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting because Figment and both Orange Bird are kind of the big mascots for Walt Disney World. So Figment's Epcot is kind of like the Epcot mascot, and then I think Orange Bird is kind of I guess Disneyland not Disneyland, but whatever, the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, whatever it is for Florida, because it's all about the citrus birds and industry and stuff. It felt like, because I grew up in Orange County, and I used to go to Disneyland like all the time as a kid. I lived down the street from there. Like my dad would put us on the roof of our house, and we'd watch the fireworks go off. But I knew nothing about Figment or Orange Bird or any of this.
Cool. My family's big; they're big Disney fans, so we go, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So we do go a lot. But
3 and 4 times isn't that bad, but yeah, I know people who have like season passes. I had season passes
those
Even though
season
they're in
passes
Vegas.
are crazy expensive now. They're like, I think $2,000 per person.
Yeah. When I did it, this was like, gosh, this is before I had kids and stuff.
Yeah.
2010-ish.
Mhm.
They were like $400 a pop, $500 a pop, which was kind of a lot, but not $2,000. You know.
But they also
you go 3 or 4 times, and you more than make your money worth out of it, really.
But like Figment had, I think Jim Zub was the writer on that one, and I think Joshua Williamson was the Haunted Mansion writer.
Okay.
But yeah, those are good books. If you come across Disney Kingdom's ratio covers, or even if they're B covers, they tend to do pretty well long term. And some of them, like I said, even that Katie Cook cover that I love is probably only a $20 book.
Yeah.
And there's not many stretching room covers. And that's one of my favorite things at Disneyland is the Haunted Mansion. So you know,
I love it. I love it. I go every year, like in Christmas, not every year, but when I do go,
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
The Night Before Christmas, because that's my birthday, is around Halloween.
Oh, that's fun.
And I love it when it's Nightmare Before Christmas. That's like the coolest thing, really.
It is fun.
It is. Yeah, it is. And this is a book that nobody ordered. Like you said, it probably was pull boxes, if any. And if that, it probably, whatever they put for the wall, I guarantee you got stuck in the kids section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But even like secrets, if you want to do like have fun, if you're into fun, go look up Seekers of the Weird, and just enjoy that series, because that's a really fun one. A lot of those variants are books that I look up that I would personally want to get too. So yeah, Disney Kingdom books, look for them.
Yeah, those are rad. Keep an eye out for those stuff, guys. All right, let's move on. Matt, you're up at number 5, sir. What do we got?
I wrote this one. So Steve, man, I'm gonna butcher this last name, but Galaxy is Gallacci. I'm terrible with spelling out last names, but Galaxy maybe. All right, Steve Galaxy is widely known as a talented illustrator who basically he gained recognition for his work in Albedo. Specifically, Albedo Zero is when he kind of got on our radars, and that was kind of considered the starting point of his professional career. But before Albedo debuted, he was busy kind of circulating his work through conventions, self-printing them. I think probably on a photocopier. And he was taking them to around to conventions, and one was this book called Huzzah. And so he started in, I think, 79 with Huzzah 1, and then Huzzah 2 was probably 82, and then 3 was 1984. So he was doing this for a little bit. So this is hard to tell the exact release date, but we estimate that it was probably right before convention season. So this book is where, especially in issue 1, is where he first introduced his character Irma Felna, who is the main character in Albedo man, testing myself at actually, this is hard. Anthropomorphics. I'm like, that's a tough word to say out loud. It's so easy to say in your head.
You can type it, but you can't say it.
Right. No kidding. And so, that character became the main character in Albedo and first appeared in Huzzah. I'm repeating myself. But these books are extremely tough to find, especially 40 years later. And beyond that first issue, you can actually find that here and there. But the second issue, we've never seen a copy ever on CovrPrice. I can't even find a picture of issue 2. And the only reason I have a picture of number 3 is because that book sold this week for $414, like a fine copy. And that, like, the picture we're showing is literally the picture that was in the sale. So it's like, this was the first proof of life that we've ever had on this book, that it even existed. We've even we went back probably the past 15 years in our past sales, and there wasn't even a mention, like there's no sales for this book. So it's interesting to see some of these things pop up. It's more of an extended first for that character right before, Albedo. But man, these books are just true ghost books. And it's not a book you'll find, but if you ever do run across it, hopefully you're committing it to memory.
Yeah, hopefully you see it and you go, this looks familiar for some reason. I might have seen it on the Shaker show, because If it wasn't if I saw this, I doubt I would, because it's not those kind of books that kind of pops up. But if it does show up, I'd be like, oh, whatever. I would just keep flipping through it because I'm like,
Yeah.
this looks like somebody made this in their
Well, that's the problem with some of these self-made books. The counterfeits in them are pretty rampant. I don't think this is popular enough to have a lot of counterfeits out there. I don't think
nobody knows about it to make a copy of it, or have a copy of it to make.
Right. Exactly. And so like you need the insides still too.
Right.
And this book is it's not on the CGC census. Issue 2 is not on the census. Only Huzzah #1 is on the census. It is definitely the most well-known of them because it's the first appearance of Irma. But yeah, man, it's just, good luck finding this book. And $414, I feel like is kind of reasonable for how hard to find this book is.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it's either you pay up now or you'll probably never see it again. And $414 is not that bad either.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is like a bidding war or if it was a buy it now thing or what. I'm curious about that because
I can take a look. I can actually answer that. So if I jump into it,
Matt's got God mode on the Cover Price website, so you can take a look at this.
So someone put it up. It ended. It was an 18-bit auction.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So there was some back and forth. Okay, that's good.
Some back and forth. And hey, look, it's interesting because like I guess I could share it here. I could take over for a second. Share screen. So here's the sale for it, and you could kind of see it has basically, this looks like this was mailed out to this person. So it has
even cooler. That's even cooler. They still have the mailer.
So he did take this around to conventions, but obviously he probably had some copies. If you had reached out to him and said, I want a copy, clearly this person was mailed one. And then here's all the, basically the price points for Usagi Yojimbo. Man,
here's your first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo in this ad.
He would have sent you one for $4.50 right there for the first print of Usagi Yojimbo #1. That would be nice. Oh man,
Usagi 1 or is that Albedo 4? Is this
well,
the same
so
cover?
I mean, Usagi Yojimbo #1 is I guess that is Albedo. Yeah, you're right. So that's not. I don't think that's on here. So yeah, I guess not. But you could get a T-shirt and a hat.
Oh, that'd be cool. I love this stuff, Matt. Like this, I love like looking at old comic books and you have like the old like ads in the back for buying comics and stuff, like how they used to before there's before the internet, and you had to just send the guy a check in the mail and hopefully get some comic books back.
I bet these Boris the Bears sell for the same price they did back then.
Unless you get the one with the Rob Liefeld sketch.
Right, exactly.
These are cool.
I mean, Boris the Bear #1 has gone up in value, at least, especially in the 9.8. But yeah, some of these critters are pretty valuable too.
I think about this is all just like typeset, like somebody just did this on a typewriter.
Yeah, no, this is all like someone did this on a typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. But yeah, you look at this book and it's just beat.
I mean, it went through the mail. Who knows? 40 years of it just being not probably appreciated because it's not, it's not like Spider-Man #1 or anything like that. But that's cool. For a second, I thought it was Space Beaver when I saw it. Was this Derek Roberts from Space Beaver?
And it is considered furry. It's a furry art. So, I mean, this was the book.
Furry's probably easier to type in anthropomorphic.
It's way easier. We'll just say furries. I mean, Albedo really did start kind of like the furry book movement. So, or at least popularized it. Anywho.
That's cool. Love it. I'm glad you pulled that up. That's so cool.
Yep.
So
there
cool.
you go.
We should always pull this stuff up. That's extra cool information.
That's
I don't know
fun.
every time we're going to see like a mailer or anything like that. That's fun.
Yeah, and that hopefully maybe one day we'll show that stuff on the site if we can add extra photos, which we do plan to.
Nice. A lot of stuff going on in Cover Price. That's for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right. #6 is a cool book. We'll move on to #6, everybody. As a video game fan in the 80s, this is awesome. I love this. #6 is Nintendo Comics System #1, This is a no price variant, so it must have been free. This is from back in the day when it was Acclaim / Valiant 1990. So writers, various artists, various interior artists, and the cover art was the Valiant production team put that together. So shout out to everybody putting the effort in on this cool book. Video game nostalgia continues to collide with comic collecting. And Nintendo Comics System #1 is a perfect example of that crossover momentum. A recent CGC 9.6 sale went for $702, and it now stands as the highest recorded price for the issue, easily surpassing the previous top result of $550 for a CGC 9.4 in 2021. With only 35 total recorded sales across both raw and graded comics or copies, the market for this book has always been thin. But the latest result shows collectors are increasingly willing to pay premium prices for high-grade copies. Part of the appeal comes from the book's place in Nintendo history. This oversized 96-page anthology brought together early comic adaptations of some of the company's biggest franchises, including Super Mario, Legends of Zelda, and Captain N. It also contains the first comic appearance of Captain N and Little Mac from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, making it a foundational crossover collectible for both comics and gaming fans. The issue also functions as a kind of prototype for the later Nintendo Comic System series that Valiant launched during the height of the NES era, when video game properties were rapidly expanding into television and print media. Scarcity plays an even bigger role. The CGC census lists only 45 graded copies total, with the recent sale representing the only known 9.6. And guys, there is no 9.8 out there. That makes the book effectively highest known grade, a factor that often drives aggressive bidding when a top copy surfaces. There are also multiple print variations. Copies exist with and without a cover price in the upper right-hand corner, and the book originally included a unattached subscription card insert. Oh, those are cool. Yeah. Missing inserts and handling wear on oversized softcover formats make high-grade copies significantly harder to locate decades later. With there being no 9.8s in existence, the next upgrade could easily reset the market all over again. That's a cool book, man. I love that book.
Yeah, so
that is neat.
In the 90s, Valiant and Acclaim did these Nintendo books. So there were 4 that had these no price versions. There was Legend of Zelda Nintendo Comic System #1, which is this one, Captain N, the Game Master, and then Super Mario Brothers. The intention behind the no price variant was because these were kind of used, sold through non-comic outlets. So these were I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, there was a popular game store called Electronics Boutique.
Mm-hmm. EB Games,
yeah. So EB Games. So this was sold, probably given away or bundled with something, or it was kind of bundled together, probably in packs at like Toys R Us or KB Toys.
Toys R Us, Target, places that sold
7-Eleven, Circle K. So anywhere basically that where they were packaged with something and didn't need a price on there is typically, they're usually sold with something designed so that people didn't look at the price and be like, I'll buy that for $4. It would be like, oh no, it comes with the game in this. You got $60. So that was the intention behind those.
That's right, man. The games were like $60 back then.
Well, no, if you look at old ads of NES and Super NES games, they were like $75, $70, $80 for back in the 80s and the 90s, which is That would be like paying $300 for. I don't know if that's how it works, but it would be excessive for a game today.
Yeah, that's why like I only really got video games for like my birthday or Christmas kind of thing, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's all you got, and you got that one game, and I mean that's all you needed, you know.
Oh yeah, like forget this white box of clothes. Just give me the video game.
Right.
And then you'll play that until your next birthday or until Christmas or next holiday or
exactly.
You break your arm or something and you get a gift. But yeah, that's why I would play Mega Man until the all day, all night, because it'd be like I had like 5 games,
And like the partnership between Valiant and Nintendo was designed to kind of be like, when you would bundle these things with gaming stores, is that it would bridge that gap for Valiant Comics. So like, oh, I enjoyed this Valiant comic, I'm going to go read whatever else is out there.
Yeah, Magnus Robot Fighter or
sure, yeah, sure.
Polar.
And I do think that led to some of their success,
sure.
Because Nintendo was the hottest thing in the world at this time.
Well, it's also, I'm pretty sure whatever money they made off that licensing and putting those books out, I'm sure they rode that over into creating their own superhero universe once like Jim Shooter came on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome Sauce, Adam, Sega Genesis did not rule. It was all about Nintendo. I didn't have a Genesis. I have actually a sad story where I thought I was getting a Genesis and I got rollerblades. So I have a little bad blood with Sega Genesis.
Oh man, I had a NES. I had a Genesis. That was a present for my parents getting divorced.
Oh, see, you have a hard time with Genesis too.
Yeah, I have one now. Actually, I have a lot of old video game, not a lot of old video game systems, but I have an NES still now. I have a Genesis. I have a GameCube.
My GameCube, I had it on the shelf in the garage, and I had it in a precarious spot, and it just came crashing down to the ground about a month ago and shattered into pieces.
Oh man, those things are usually like in very durable. Those things.
Yeah, no, that GameCube but it was up high. It was sad because I actually the GameCube was one of my favorite systems.
Oh yeah,
and it was the shortest lived for sure. Yeah, it was a really good system.
I mean, that's where you got Resident Evil 4.
Oh my god, that's probably my all-time favorite game is Resident Evil 4.
Man, I would play that game.
My relationship with chainsaws is extended from Resident Evil 4.
Did you ever have that chainsaw controller they did for Resident Evil 4?
I never got too deep, but man, I played the hell out of that game.
Oh, I love that. I still have it now. I played it probably like 6 months ago. I popped it in and played it.
It's why Leon's hands down my favorite Resident Evil character.
Yeah, I think we're living the same life because me too. Because he's the one. Well, that's the first game where you kind of got like real personalities.
That's where you got the first time you really got to control Leon, because before it was always Jill or but who was the one in the third game?
Veronica. Veronica and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Jill, all that.
Yeah, Resident Evil franchise were so good.
I want to play that new game, but it's a lot of money, and but it's really hard now, Matt. We're kind of going off track here. It's hard to find it's hard to find physical copies. Like every time I find a copy, it's the digital version. Like, I don't want the digital.
That's why it's like a lot of people are saying like those are the things to buy right now, because it's the end of the physical, a lot of physical media, and the print runs on that stuff is so low. Like perfect example is Fortnite had a physical release before they went to a digital, and like those Fortnite games for like I think it was on Xbox, it may have been PlayStation, but I'm pretty sure it's Xbox. Like a sealed copy of Fortnite is 1,000 plus, if not more. Wow. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, so you look at if a game takes off and it's big digitally, those physical media copies are definitely a good thing to hold and just tuck away. Save it for like 10 years. I tell my mom I wish she would have saved a sealed Zelda and a sealed Mario, and like why couldn't she just think in the
you should have known better, Mom. Like
I can have 500,000 right now, Mom. Instead, I just have memories.
Yeah, you should have got that 5-screw variant for Zelda.
What were you thinking?
If I was collecting comic books, like I would have thought video games is probably my first love. That's before I really fell into comic books. There's video games.
Sure.
And I still love that stuff. I would collect them, but that's a whole other beast, man. That's a whole other just demon to kind of tackle, especially during the pandemic. Like you were saying, you're talking about sealed games. Before, nobody really cared, but during the pandemic, it was like, oh man, these things are going for like $1,000. And then WADA came out with the grading, and that just blew everything out of the water.
Took it to a new world. Yep,
absolutely. Sure. All right, guys, welcome to Video Game Talk here on
Cover. I know. Now we switch gears. You're dealing with someone here. My job is to derail meetings and YouTube shows, so that's what I'm here to do.
We're a bad team up then, because that's all I do. It's all about side quests and tangents.
Lando and Laura are pretty good at keeping this thing on pace.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of keeping things on pace, next up, number 7.
Yeah. So we actually wrote about this book a year ago, almost to the month. It had, I think back then it sold for $300 in a 9.8. And then this week we saw it jump to 510 in a 9.8. And so we're like, let's cover it again, because it's interesting. This Michael Golden cover, like, you know, it's, if I didn't look at this cover closely, I would have thought that this was a Bloodshot book, right? Like I would have thought this is a Valiant Bloodshot book because it has that aesthetic. But this Michael Golden cover, like, you know, it's just kind of like classic mid-90s cover. And people really like this is a hard book to find, not only because it was at its 100th issue, you know, it was a big anniversary issue. I don't think this was a big book for stores in 95. But it's hard to not pay attention now with that type of a price, right? And part of the driving force at the time was basically how limited, the limited nature of the book. And, you know, just being that centennial issue and the run coming to a conclusion 4 issues later, is kind of why people seek out this book.
This is also a B cover of all things.
Right, which makes it harder. I mean, it's technically, you know, it's called the gold variant. There's no definitive number on print runs or graded copies or available copies out there, but so it's kind of an unknown mystery. But, you know, 90s collectors kind of seek this one out.
Yes, sir.
If you're a Punisher fan, this is definitely a Punisher fan-driven book. You know, and with news of Punisher appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day, you know, that could be given a new spotlight onto Punisher books, because Punisher kind of took a dip, you know, in terms of culturally and in the aftermarket, because he switched his logo and all that. So there was some, you know, Punisher wasn't getting some love for a while, but with you know, the TV show and now him being in the film, it should be interesting to see if some of those books come back up. I'm hoping for some Frankencastle.
that would be amazing. That would be incredible.
I love.
If they gave me an option, that's where I would go. Would be Frankencastle. Absolutely.
Yep.
I also love how the skeleton behind him looks like it's almost doing like a Street Fighter Hadouken.
Yeah, right. I didn't even notice the skeleton wrapping around. This cover has so much going on in it.
All the guns on his like hip and his waist. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And doesn't he look like Chapel?
He does. Chapel, or like you said, Bloodshot, because he's all white.
Yeah.
And then like the haircut too. Yeah, he definitely kind of looks like Chapel a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like this is 3 years after Image, so someone could have been like, these Image guys know what they're doing. What if we make them think it's an Image book?
Yeah, you got like, well, I think you're right, Matt, because it's hard to see. There's so much going on in this cover, but all the flying bullet casings is very, very Stephen Platt Prophet.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I can see that too.
Michael
Gordon did so many cool covers on Punisher. If you guys go to Cover Price, you look through that Punisher run. Like I think it's like in the 50s. You did a couple if you find Michael Golden Punisher covers, they are rad. They are the coolest covers. This one's probably the king of them.
Michael Golden is one of those like artists. So like you talk to like artists who they love, and they always like his name will pop up all the time.
Yeah. Tom McFarlane, I saw a video earlier where he talked about Michael Golden was his inspiration for like the.
Oh, I could see that
Eddie.
easily.
Yeah.
He was probably Michael Golden did Pockets before, and then Michael was like, I could up that a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Michael Golden, Neil Adams, Art Adams, like all roads lead to those artists. Like you hear them talk about, that's where they got a lot of inspiration from. It's like Art Adams, Michael Golden.
Yeah. Todd has mentioned him before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of see a little bit of that aesthetic and like, in just that cover. You can see a little bit of those three artists. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime you see like McFarlane stuff or like Jim Lee stuff, like there's some like Art Adams in the DNA of that stuff.
Stop to look at this a little bit. How hard is it to draw that kind of detail of white on black, right? Like you look at it and you look at the guns and all the detail around his belt and the guns themselves. It's so much black on white on black that it's like, to even see all the detail on these things. I can't imagine how difficult that was to do.
Yeah, I mean to draw, because it's all lighting. Like you really,
you really
have to master that lighting to get the detail. Like the white highlights on like his brachialis muscles on his arm, the white highlights on like the gun holsters, like all that stuff, and then the colorist has to come in and interpret that stuff as well.
I think I'm getting some appreciation for this cover because I've kind of like I've ignored it because it's such a 90s-ish cover, but then when you really start to look at it, there's a lot going on in this thing.
It's a busy cover, but it works.
But yeah, you start to stare at it long enough, you're like, wow, how did he do that? Oh, that was
you can see just like the highlights and like the gun grips. Like, yeah, I mean, I've seen this cover in person before, but I would love to go see it again. Like, I need to pick up a copy, but $510 is not going to happen. Hopefully, I find it back issue bin, $100 or something like that.
Yeah, Magnus says Golden Micronauts was incredible. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. Cool.
Yep. All right. So, what is this? Number 7 is this awesome Punisher 100 cover. I like speaking of Punisher, I like that Frank Thierry Bullseye cover. I think it's 102, 103. A little bit after this is a beautiful cover too.
Yeah.
But either way, moving on, folks. Number 8, we got a modern book on the list. Hopefully this gets everybody on the chart. Number 8 is Rook Exodus. Number 1. This is the Jason Fabok Retailer Incentive 1 in 100. Image Comics came out in 2024. Written by Jeff Johns, interior art and cover art by Jason Fabok. This variant is being labeled by fans as a standout piece from the Ghost Machine launch, and the recent market movement seems to support that claim. Reuniting the superstar creative team of Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok, Rook Exodus introduces a gritty sci-fi world where survival is tied to controlling nature. This 1/100 incentive variant by Fabok delivers a heavy post-apocalyptic aesthetic that perfectly captures the desolate tone of the falling planet Exodus. Fabok is a highly detailed artist, and his work on this cover really pops against the stark yellow background. For collectors, the high price tag is driven by a combination of high buy-in thresholds and a strong retention. Getting a comic shop to order 100 copies of an untested indie series comes at a high price, even when it's coming from a powerhouse team such as this. Many stores simply did not qualify to receive it. Furthermore, the people who did acquire this book are likely dedicated fans of Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok who appreciate the top-tier artwork, meaning very few copies are hitting the open market. It may, in fact, be one of the more challenging modern ratio variants to track down, and when one finally surfaces, a bidding war ensues. I, for one, always appreciate seeing creator-owned sci-fi concepts finding such a strong footing with serious collectors, as is one of my personal favorite genres. Who wrote this, Matt? Was that you or?
No, that was a writer named Mitch.
All right. So Mitch loves these types of books, man. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Lefteros loves this stuff too. I mean, the Ghost Machine universe is very good. It is some really top-notch writing. And it is a really fun world that they're building.
Yeah.
If you can catch up in trades, definitely do. You'll enjoy it.
That's what I'm going to do with it. I missed all these books, so I'm going to have to catch up in trades.
It's good. It's really entertaining. And I really enjoy Red Coat. Red Coat's probably the book I like the most out of them. A lot of people love this Rook Exodus.
I've only heard good things about all these books: Rook Exodus, Red
Geiger,
Coat, Hyde Street. You know.
Yeah, and so like this is one of those books where it's just what's interesting about this book is that it's a 1 in 100, but it sells like near mint raw. And then here's John. What's up, John?
Yo.
I told John to come on too, so we could look at.
Put out the battle cry. Hey, Gabe. Sorry, I'm
Awesome,
really late.
We didn't do our show. We didn't do our show last night because we were all like spread. We were spread thin work wise, so we were didn't get to do that. So now we're doing it with you. But to get to this real quick, this near mint raw is only like $35. Like, so you can get this 1 in 100 for like nothing. But 9.8s are really hard to find. Like right now, this was $350. There's 2 available that are listed like at $600 and I think $800. Like, that's what they're not going to get that, but it's one of those. That's where the market is right now.
They're waiting for that movie announcement, probably.
Well, I think it's a little bit of buzz. This could be. I think this. I can't remember if this is a gold foil. I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think it is.
It didn't say anything about that in the read.
No, I don't think, because they did a lot of foils, and those foils are those take a beating. So it can be hard to find high grade copies, but Ghost Machine's stock is pretty thick. So I was actually surprised at this 350, and I even had to double check it to make sure that there weren't cheaper copies out, and there weren't. So I don't know. I guess it's a good flip if you guys want. It's $35 near mint raw, $40 grading. I guess is that how much it costs now?
Isn't that high? Jeepers.
It's like 35 or something. I forget.
Plus shipping out and stuff like that, and insurance. Yeah.
Yeah. Lord of Brooklyn wants a T-shirt, John. He said he never got it.
He said he's gonna get you in an arm bar if he ever sees you.
I am now officially intimidated. I hope the bounty
He says this every show, so I think he just has like every color of our Cover Price shirts.
I do apologize. I thought I sent it, and I thought there was a shipping thing, but email me again, and I will take care of that for you. I do apologize if I didn't. Every time I get it, I send it. I'm pretty good at that. So
maybe he'll throw in Cover Price fingerless gloves with it.
I'm going to put a hat in there.
All right, some wino gloves.
Yeah.
Or some gamut gloves or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Well, welcome to the party, John.
I know you guys are ending, but Matt just texted me, and I was like, "Oh no,
it'll be good. You're here to go through what's shaking live, so that'll be fun." Yeah.
We still got 2 more books, and then we got what's shaking.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
and this next one, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, this one's great.
Talk about Valiant.
Oh.
More Valiant on the list this week. All right, number 9. Let's go with Secret Weapons, number 22. This is from Valiant Comics, 1995. Writer of this is Jesse Berdinka. Artist is John Nadu. Familiar. Nanu. Right. Cover artist is possibly Sean Chin. I'm going to take a look. Secret Weapons was originally released in September of 1993. This title was a team-up book pitting some of the most powerful Valiant heroes against a new threat, Dr. Eclipse. The series ran for 21 issues, ending in May of 1995. Issue number 2 was solicited in early 1995, but the acquisition of Valiant by Acclaim Entertainment threw a massive wrench in release plans later that year. This issue was then resolicited as part of a 2-part miniseries, but that too was also scrapped. This book was never actually released by Valiant and remained unseen until 2007. In 2007, a fan who goes by KC Collectibles on the website valiantfans.com assembled all the interior pages, inks, and colors from former Valiant staff and other collectors. He then assembled them into a full issue with any missing parts filled in by the original colorist and some parts written by fans. The issue was released as a PDF, but actual physical copies began to pop up a few years later. These issues are unauthorized and seem to be extremely rare. The few that have become available for sale have sold for $100 plus. But this past week, a new high was set when a raw copy sold for $150.
So
This is just a fan project. How cool is that?
What was the name of the? How did you pronounce the guy's name? Not.
I don't know.
Herbertlinger, Bert Hermgeif, Irv Hermlinger, Bing Livehanger, Livelink, Bert Her.
Sorry, I just wanted to play it.
No, that's perfect. That's the exact right time to use that.
It was very appropriate. And rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
But no, this book is fascinating. So actually, here I'll share my screen. I didn't realize I thought this was a book that was maybe printed in comp copies, kind of like leaked out. But I'll share my screen here. Actually, let me pull it up. I'm so bad at sharing.
The cover says L. Ross, written by L. Ross.
So here's the eBay sale for this book. You can see it was the best offer. That it comes with a forward of like how this webcomic happened. So he basically talks about that, where it was kind of something that was, because it was canceled, he went around and tried to find like people who had pages of the original art and kind of tried to get all the pages back together, and found like, tried to find the color versions of them, and tried to track down the original writer, and couldn't find the original writer, and there were 2 pages missing. So then he wrote the 2 pages himself. Like, it's really interesting of how I sent the link in the chat. So if you guys want to like read this closer, but it's so interesting on how this book came together. It is totally a fan project book, but it was printed in just a limited fashion, and it was never printed again post 2007. So you can kind of see, there's a special thanks in here, because a lot of the Valiant folks helped him track down a lot of all this material to kind of pull it together. You can see there's Dinesh got for providing the scan for Secret Weapons 23, which was also not used.
Did he have the original art then?
I'm sure Dinesh does. Yeah, Dinesh probably kept it.
He has the original art for everything.
Yeah.
He has some crazy books. I think which was probably this cover right here is what
comics, man. Like this was like crowdsourcing before crowdsourcing happened.
This was someone who could not handle the story not being completed and was just like, I'm gonna get this done.
Hold my beer.
Valiant can't get this done, I'll do it. And that's a true fan, right?
Okay, what's the story? I mean, it's got to be a really good story. It's just
watch it be terrible.
Yeah.
Secret Weapons was a big connected storyline that kind of like brought a lot of the Valiant world together, and it was this one cohesive story that was like, I don't know what to compare it to. If you want to think like I Secret War or something like that, where it brought in all the characters. Secret Weapons was kind of one of, I could be completely wrong. I don't know if this was a separate book that introduced a different team, but my recollection was that it was kind of one of those books that a lot of the Valiant characters kind of came in and out of.
I love the aesthetic of the 90s, when like the main characters are wearing sunglasses and have brass knuckles and got all the gauntlets on.
And that ponytail, that thing's awesome.
Ponytails everywhere.
Everyone has a ponytail, right?
I mean, it looks like it's well done. It looks high quality, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, here's a good test. I wonder how many copies are like out and about still. Yeah, there's none listed. So, that's one. I mean, you could kind of tell, like, even if it's like a fan-driven book,
you get a set of it for $25. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you could have got even a little. Well, it was a best offer of $150. But with that said, a lot of these books are in high grade because they were printed kind of fresh and then sent to collectors. So a lot of them are pretty like nice copies.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the people who have these are like, this is mine. Like they're not.
Oh yeah, the Valiant fans are diehards.
Yeah.
They don't let things out of their collection. So
yeah, that's going in a long box of limbo that's never going to come back out.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark, you can get a Cover Price shirt. We have a merch store.
We do have some.
I'm going to post the merch link, but yeah,
You're
anyone can have one.
finding it though.
And, honestly, they're nice soft shirts too. Like I really like. Even after a couple washings, it's still pretty good.
I like the green one. This is black and teal.
We designed them to disintegrate after the 7th wash, so just don't want. No.
Have you seen those prank bathing suits that people give like their husbands, and it dissolves in the water as soon as they get in there?
Prank everybody else.
And then and then they get out.
Like, whatever. What do you want me to do?
There's nothing left, and they're just.
That actually is pretty good. It's kind of like the golf ball that explodes prank.
Right.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Right.
But better because you're then nude afterwards.
All right.
The merch store link, guys, if you want to click over there.
John, do you want to take number 10?
I don't have the
yeah, he doesn't have the script. I'll
all right. Well, Matt's up then, right?
I can ad lib it though. If you just put it up, I don't even know what it is. Let's see. Oh, Dolphin. Yeah.
You could just make dolphin noises.
I do remember this cover though. This is way back when we first started. This cover was popping up a lot.
There was a lot of spec that Dolphin was going to show up in one of the Aquaman films at some point. And that didn't happen. But anywho, Showcase 79, 1968. DC writer J. Scott Pike, penciler J. Scott Pike, inker J. Scott Pike, and guess who the cover artist is?
Was it Mr. Pike?
Yes, it was.
That's a 3 for 3.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh, and so Showcase 79. I'm going to actually read this. This was done by Morris, who is, you might know, of Lady T Comics. This is his piece. Showcase 79 features the mysterious and beautiful amphibious girl named Dolphin diving into the depths of an emerald green ocean. Her cutoff jeans and sleeveless top are indicative of the 1960s peace and love vibe of the times, and her pouty look towards the reader breaks the fourth wall, all making this comic one of the most coveted in the entire DC Showcase comic book series. Like many well-read books from the Silver Age, high-grade copies are incredibly rare. What also adds to the value of any comic book are CGC pedigree label designations. There are currently 61, if you did not know that, different designated CGC pedigree labels, with some of the more valuable being the San Francisco, the Rocky Mountain, the Crowley Collection, the Diamond Run, the Promise Collection, with the most famous being the Edgar Church Mile High, as it was the first. Each has an interesting backstory, but all share similar qualities, including being of exceptional quality in terms of the issues involved. They tend to be higher grade, conditioned for their age. They also tend to be all original owner collections. The CGC 9.6 Showcase 79 issue that sold this week was part of the Oakland collection. From the CGC website, the Oakland collection came to be in 1998 after the original owner brought samples to the WonderCon convention and struck a deal with Vincent Zurzolo and Mike Carbonaro. Vincent is he knows the big, I'm blanking on the name of it. Maybe this will come up. Who proceeded to drive the collection from California to New York. In it were over 4,000 comic books, primarily between the years 1966 and 1974. Accumulated as the owner was paid in comics by a liquor store in return for stacking shelves. He was very meticulous when handling his books, as evidenced by the high grades and page quality assigned to the collection every time. The books were sold as Oakland copies, though none of the copies had identifying marks on their covers. Pedigree copies generally fetch 10 to 15% premium with respect to added value, even with the Oakland pedigree designation. Associated with this week's 9.6 sale, it was still somewhat shocking to see it sell for a staggering $4,100.
I must have it.
There you go. $4,148. In comparison, the last same grade Universal Blue Label sale Showcase 79 was 10 months ago for $1,450. So that got a $3,000 premium. Dang. The most any CGC 9.6 copy has sold for this book was $2,250 in February 2025, which was last month. Or no, a year ago. 1 month. There's only been one recorded CGC 9.8 sale, which went for an incredible $1,450. $1,000 in April 2021. So people do love their Dolphin out there for sure. This is you don't see like all green covers too often.
No.
I just learned something the other day that speaking of colors. So do you know why all the villains are green and purple? Joker, Loki.
Well, I watched the video you sent me. I couldn't answer it.
You could answer that one that I sent you if you want to be a stealer of cool stuff. But yeah, no, it turns out all the way they did it was the primary color wheel. So the primary blue, red, which is Superman, Spider-Man, all of them are in primary colors. And on the opposite side of the color wheel are green, purple, and some of the other ones. And so they always wanted to have a visual hierarchy of who was good and who was bad. And so they would always put the bad guys in green and purple. And that's why there's so many freaking and the Hulk was green and purple with purple pants because he was ambiguous at times.
Right. But he originally has gray. So maybe he kind of. Well,
you shut up, Matt. You're ruining the color wheel.
No, I like this. Frank Cho reboot requested putting that into the universe, and then he said, "Yeah, absolute Dolphin." Frank Cho, you know how fast I would buy that in like right now.
Absolute Dolphin.
You mean Art Adams?
Here's a J. Scott Pike memorial is right here. You can see that. So rest in peace, J. Scott Pike. Yeah, no, that price is pretty staggering. And what was interesting about it, Morris was showing me that like that copy did not look like a 9.6 inside that slab. But
sometimes it's a sliding scale on older books.
Yeah, and some of those pedigrees sometimes get a little bit of a little push out the door. Yeah.
Vincent Zurillo, that's the guy that owns Metropolis.
Metropolis, that's it. I said it first. No,
and Mike Carbonaro is just, I know him as a vendor. Like I've seen him in all kinds of shows.
Yeah, no, that dude looks like a Tim Burton drawing. Like if you've seen Carbonaro, he looks like Tim Burton drew him in real life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he looks like Edward Scissorhands without the scissor hands. Yeah.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
He always has like a t-shirt and like a sports coat. Like he's a nice guy, but he's a character. He's a character.
No, he looks. Everyone says he sounds like a character. So here's the book. It was the Heritage sale. Whoa, look at that. But there was like this was interesting. Like this top corner and this blunted top right corners. It's kind of like people are like, was that really a 9.6? Like some of this. I mean, you get really into it. Like all these corners are all rounded.
On the bottom right doesn't look too sharp.
Well, it's a little off center, which is not. Comics don't tend to get super pinged for that. But
the green's beautiful though. Wow,
the green pops, and there is 2 color breaking spine creases right there.
Why did they do it in green? I wonder. I mean, like it's blue.
It's probably separates it. Yeah, you would think that if you were in water, you'd be bright blue. But
are you saying it's an error print?
Maybe it's a statement on water pollution.
Yeah,
they probably wanted to put her in these gene cutoffs, and they're like, well, we can't do blue and blue, so let's just do green. Anyhow, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, there's that book. You can look at it on Heritage. There you go.
Now, did her parents name her Dolphin, or was that like her hero name?
I doubt it, but we can take some time to look that up. Oh, I didn't even say. Does not have a real name. She is mysterious mute and later an Atlantean mutated character.
Oh, so mysterious and mute. She's just getting hotter and hotter.
Does Dolphin? Yeah, so she doesn't have parents, John. Are you happy now?
Wow, I'm a jerk. You know what? Oh my god, did they? I didn't realize that was Dolphin. Is that where they got the movie Splash from? Like Daryl Hannah, because wasn't she like mute in it?
No, well, I mean, but yeah, I don't think there's a connection between Dolphin and Splash. She was a mermaid. Dolphin's not a mermaid.
There's no John Candy in this comic book.
Yeah. Dolphin's not a mermaid.
Well, look at her hands, Matt. She's got mer hands.
But there was a fun fact of like, I mean, we're gonna get way off here. Splash, Daryl Hannah, what's her name? It was the character's name is Madison, which is the first time that name had ever been brought into the world. There wasn't like that wasn't a first name.
Well, she
until-
got it because of this. She was on Madison Avenue, so Madison
Yeah,
is a
well, yeah,
last name.
there you go. But then that became a name after that. So like the name, like people having the first name Madison didn't take off until this film.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, fun fact. That's where's that clip that the Gabe the more you know or fun fact.
These things get moved around sometimes.
I know.
Anywho, fun facts. I gotta go pick up a kid in like 20 minutes, so let's get to what's shaking. Yeah,
This dude, what's shaking? Let's see here. Let's pull that bad boy up. Well, I pulled that up. Do you guys care about like prestige comics or pedigree comics?
I mean, it's not something I look out for. If one falls my way, I do really like some of the stories behind them. Like the Promise collection is such a nice story. If you guys haven't read about the Promise collection, that has a really sweet story.
I like pedigree. It wouldn't matter. It's a cool story to know that it's part of something, that people recognize. I think that's fun.
But I don't go looking for them or anything either, but I have one from the God, what was that documentary about selling Superman? I have one of the Selling Superman books.
Oh, that's cool. Fantastic people.
Yeah, it's a Mr. Miracle #1. It has a label on it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think I paid extra for it.
That story was a sad story, because that one's really depressing. I feel bad for them all.
Yeah, because he didn't care about his family at all. He just wanted more comic books to the house.
And all like other collectibles, like he just bought stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead.
Already,
right off the bat. I mean, we talk about the second appearance of Wolverine on a regular basis here, but this Pep Comics 22 or 23 is cool. Because I think is it 22? 22 is the first Archie.
I think so.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that's a monster book if you find that first Archie book ever.
Wow.
I don't come across too many Pep runs in the dollar bins.
No.
That's crazy. 5,400
for a 3.5.
Wow.
The Chamber of Chills is pretty great too.
The zombies green and purple.
Never make out with a zombie. That's rule number 1.
Yeah, I don't know why people keep doing that.
Right.
Yeah, it's a trend. It's a TikTok trend.
Kiss a zombie.
I mean, I like that she's like fighting them off, and pieces of him are just coming off in her hand.
Yeah, that's a level of detail that's pretty accurate and kind of chilling just to think about.
It's a blonde in a red. We'll call it a red dress. That's a Laura book.
Like a red jacket.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a Laura book. Scroll through here.
Zombie came from the dolphin water, Chad says.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yo. Dolphin water is almost as disgusting as hot dog water.
Hot dog water is delicious. So nasty.
First appearance of Ghost Rider. This keeps popping up here on the Shakers. I wonder, got to read the tea leaves a little bit. That's a great book, though.
Well, I think a lot of people keep going back to these blue chip keys, right? Like these are books that everyone wants in their collections. So, the fact these are selling all day long every day, because I mean, these are also fairly easy books to find. Like this row are books that aren't particularly rare, but
no, these turn hands on a regular basis for sure.
Yeah. But they're not cheap. So,
right.
And there's these are top grades too. Like that's a 9.0. This is an 8.5.
Yeah.
This Batman 251's a 9.4, 9.8 on that Star Wars. Like these are great copies.
And by the way, look at that Sinister Six. All of them are in green except Craven. Green and yellow. The Vulture's green and something. Electro, Sandman. Crazy. When you look at it, you can't unsee it.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I remember when I watched Unbreakable the first time. I go, he's wearing purple. I wonder if that means anything.
Oh yeah, I know in Sixth Sense, whenever you saw red, like the red balloon and stuff, it meant a ghost was coming.
Oh
yeah. So he always used symbolism and stuff.
I love these 1940s Marvel comics. They weren't Marvel back then, but anytime you see like superheroes fighting, World War II and stuff, that's always great.
But it says Marvel. It says Marvel.
It's always confusing because it's Namor and like the Human Torch, basically fighting bad guys, but it's not the Human Torch. It's just
not the Human Torch.
Just Fire Dude.
It's a robot, and you got Toro.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
You got first appearance of Darkseid there.
One of his many first appearances. That's another just like menagerie of like, where's his first appearance really?
Well, that's his first full appearance. The one before, I forget what book it is, where he's like on a little TV screen.
Yeah, the Jimmy Olsen 126 or whatever. Yeah.
Come on.
He looks like just somebody's manager popping in going, hey, you got my reports for me?
And then they did the same thing with like Mr. Negative. Like his first appearance in Swing Shift is like on a fuzzy TV. And then you see him in like, what is it, 548, whatever Amazing Spider-Man 5, or whatever that issue is.
Why is that X-Men a key? The 120, I forget.
It's Alana, right?
Oh,
yeah,
Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
Did you guys see, speaking of Sasquatch, did you guys see that I don't know if it's AI, probably just AI, but someone got like a really clear image of Sasquatch looking through like trees, and it's just like as clear as I see you guys. And he's just like looking at the camera blinking. Probably AI. But,
it's probably AI. Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, it's you can't trust that stuff.
It's like that Portlandia. It's Beats. It's probably Beats.
Right. It's Beats. So.
There's blood everywhere. Is there a beat truck? It's Beats.
Wow, look at this Invincible 62nd print. It's a wraparound cover. Let me click on that.
Invincible books in general, like every book, every issue, every second print, every variant. I mean, Invincible is hands down the most valuable modern run. It's just hands down. It's easily the most valuable run. Because every single book is like, $100 and like $350 plus to $1,000. It's amazing.
Even in like not perfect condition, you're still gonna be paying a premium for them.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Best decision I had was to read all the omnibuses back to back. Honestly,
but you didn't buy. If you bought all the issues, then you would be a celebrity. Right?
Yeah.
You'd be
Dude, I had such a long run of Invincible.
Yeah,
I was one of the few people that was reading it as it was coming out.
I started. I got to like issue 5, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, let me try some other stuff." But
you just kept going, John. That's when the cool stuff happens. Is issue 7.
I had like all the second prints and stuff, all those $1,000 books, but I sold them for like, ages ago, like 10 years ago, for like $50.
Yeah, I had 9/8 of number 1 that I sold. But it was I used it as the interest money for this house. So I was like,
oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a good use of comic money.
Yeah, I turned comic books into a house, so that works.
By the way, I really want to read Bone. I got to get the trade for that because I keep hearing like the animation. The guy who wrote it spent so much time and effort learning how to pace a comic, and supposedly the pacing of it with the text to the imagery to the movement is like flawless. Supposedly.
You know what, John? We should probably just do a read along because I've never read Bone either.
Well, one thing Matt was saying was we should do a book club, a comic book club thing on like live where we each read we just buy the book, get the trade, all read it, and then talk about it. And I think that would be pretty fun because there's some like Mouse I've never read, Bone I've never read. It would be cool to do that.
I'm down.
Did you ever read Watchmen?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Watchmen's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, another good one though.
No, I have the Bone trades here.
You do?
It's a big old fat phone book too. Like it's a lot of material.
Have you read it, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't read all the way through. I read most of it. I mean, it's a kid book, so it's like it kind of didn't hold my full attention. I will admit.
Well, so is Dork, and look where that's going.
but it is fun. Like I do like the character Bone. It's very like I probably would have loved it as like a tween. Right, or for sure. Like back when I was reading Calvin and Hobbes, like I loved Calvin and Hobbes more than anything. This would have been a good
dude. my son is blonde and is walking around, and I'm insisting that he carries around this little tiger with him, and it is so fun when he actually wants to. He's hugging it and walking around. I'm like, yes.
You're raising them right, John. Good job.
Yeah, there you go.
He's walking already. Jeez, wow.
He's running. He's kicking.
You're in trouble now, buddy. When you start running, yeah, you're in trouble.
My wife was just saying, like, I'm sorry. I always bring up my kids. But my wife was saying he's getting so strong. She's like, "What do we do when we can't stop him? Like he's just a force now."
Hey, you can start reading Superman books and figure out what Martha and Pa Kent had to go through.
Well, he is levitating now off the ground about 5 inches, but that's not too bad.
He is setting the curtains on fire with his eyes.
Yeah, yeah. He stares at you.
If they can handle Superman, you can handle your kid. Come on.
Good. That's fair. That is fair.
That's inspiration right there.
I do tackle him like twice a day, so
I'm always surprised to see Walking Dead. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad to see Walking Dead like pop up on these lists.
I mean, a lot of the other key books have dropped significantly, but the first issue holds, and the second issue actually holds pretty well too.
Well, that's kind of the difference between like Walking Dead and Invincible. Is Walking Dead was the show was on when the comic was still going on at the same time, so it really kind of bumped up the sales a lot more. Where Invincible was just kind of it was very straggling behind sales wise compared to Walking Dead.
Sure.
You know, Robert Kirkman was at Comics Pro, and he gave like a keynote and talking about stuff he's working on and all that. And it's funny. He's always so self-deprecating, but also so cocky at the same time. I've never seen it, but it's just such a weird thing to see. He's like, I'm not too good, but we did sell out everywhere, and it was amazing, and everyone loved it. But he's if you guys haven't like listened to him, he's really funny to talk, like to hear.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
This Gold Venom one is fantastic. I love that book.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many versions of that cover. There's air versions. There's
the white one or the
black
one.
White one.
When this came out, it was when I was learning about what variants were, and I was always mad because I'm like, how come I didn't get the cool one? Like I got the regular. How come where do you get the gold one from?
I mean, you don't understand the struggle. Like back in what was this 93, like to what you said, you didn't know they existed. And then if you saw someone that had one, it was like, how did you get one? It was like a friend told a friend who knew a person who had to order it. It was how you had to get these were. I mean, this gold one was sent to stores as an incentive, as a thank you. Mm-hmm. The other ones are pretty much error books, which are why they're valuable, but printing mistakes. But this one I think was kind of a thank you to stores. So a lot of them would just get one, and then if they probably disappeared super fast.
I remember the first time I ran into a variant, it was for Prophet number 4. I didn't know about variants at the time, because this was like early 90s.
Sure.
And it was expensive at my comic shop, so I had to do like extra errands and stuff to get the money to buy it. And I bought it finally, and I was so excited. I brought it home. I opened it up. I go, "This is the same comic I already have."
Threw it away.
No, it's one of my favorite covers of all time. Still, I love it. But
I'll
never forget that. I was like, man, I worked all this extra chore money, and I thought it was something different, and it was just the same book with a different cover. And I was like, oh gosh.
Elementary school John definitely went a number of times and said, how come there's 2 different covers for this? Or what is this? And not even understanding it.
Imagine today, cheapers.
Yeah. I mean, it must be really daunting to not know, like, if you're reading the right comic,
Yeah. This Tom McFarlane, I love this 316 Amazing Spider-Man cover.
Yeah.
But this is one where, like, I know people love newsstands, but that barcode just ruins the cover, I think, compared to
there was nothing I hated more than having a barcode on there. I was like, if I didn't have the Spidey head on it, I felt like I was being gypped.
This one had this originally had like this awesome Venom like sketch that McFarlane did in the corner box.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Look how cool that is. That's way cooler than a barcode.
So cool.
Right. Totally. Who wants a barcode?
Yeah,
Okay.
yuck.
McFarlane at his finest. Look at that. Was he the one who made Venom all big and bulky?
He created it.
Yeah, he invented it. Yeah.
He originally came out big and bulky because Eddie Brock was like a bodybuilder kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah.
These old horror books keep popping up, and these
I
horror
will
books
say
are great.
that McFarlane's Mary Jane was what made me fall in love with Mary Jane.
The crop top shirts and everything all the time, and
The big hair, the big 80s hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think it was like Jessica Rabbit and Mary Jane were hard to ignore.
That'll do it. I'll do it. I've said it on the show before, but that page where Psylocke is coming out of the water in X-Men 1, that's when puberty started for me. I remember.
Specifically, probably one of the most remembered panels in my life, I think, is X-Men 7 of the Jim Lee run, where she comes out of the shower and all that's coming is just steam everywhere.
Yeah.
Because Cyclops walks in and he's like, "Oh," but she doesn't even bat an eye. She's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" Like,
yeah, she entices it a little bit more.
And
that's when Matt's voice dropped.
Right. And then he like closes the door and he's so flustered. And then for like 4 issues, he can't even talk to her without like stumbling over his words. They even play into it like 3 issues later where she's also in a bathing suit and he like can't like he gets in trouble because Jean Grey reads his mind and she's like, "You got to stop." Like,
yep, I remember all those covers.
Oh man, it was like I think that run completely changed how I looked at comics at an adolescence for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like it does make you grow up a little bit.
What are you doing in there, Matt? I'm reading my comics. Go away, Mom.
I'm gonna marry Psylocke one day.
She's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's why she's
definitely like my favorite like femme fatale like character for sure.
Yeah,
just because she's hot, purple hair, gave me puberty. Yeah, hair just sprouted out of her everywhere like immediately.
All those covers too, like they do her so well.
Yeah, that recent art germ one's fantastic for that Psylocke, that new Psylocke book.
I don't know it. I don't think I know it.
Oh, well,
it's probably seared in my brain somewhere.
I love this Batman 59 at 1.5 for over $1,000. First appearance of Deadshot.
Wow, I like how he tricks out his space shuttle to be more bat-like.
I like how the bat signal can reach Earth all the way up to the moon.
That's impressive.
I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Batman. So
yeah. I like how stars are like drawn like stars, like like with the points in space.
I'm gonna marry a ninja, Mom. Leave me alone.
Have a bunch of ninja kids.
She's not just a cartoon.
She gets me. I don't know what's going on with this Detective Funny. Are these guys all wearing bags over their heads?
Ooh.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, it looks like.
Interesting.
So creepy. The 1930s, I swear, like 1930s to 1950s were some of the most interesting time in America in terms of just like geopolitical and crazy stuff that like literally set the stage of like what's happening in the world now. And like even these comics, they're like, I always think of the people in the past as like in black and white and kind of like, oh yeah, quaint, but like hell no, like they were coming up with some just crazy stuff, especially like in a probably very repressed society and time. To see like that stuff would probably give people nightmares. Some dude with a weird mask and a long knife.
Yeah.
Love
it. That was the Depression era, right? So
yeah, people were getting out all that energy somehow.
And look at Ultimate Fallout there, is at a 9.8 is at around 7. Let's see, I don't know what it says right there. 890.
Yeah.
And the last one sold for 702 actually. So I think that's an average. Yeah, it looks like it's average. Yeah, 898 is the fair market value. The last sale was 702. Now you could look at that and be like, look how it's fallen, right? Because it was
3,000, 3,500. Like
if I go into the sales data, I think it did hit about 3,500 at its height. But like, let's see, let me dig in here. If I go back to the magic time of 2020, 2021, 2022, yeah, it was averaging about 3,500 to 3,000. Probably the most common price for this was probably about 2,500. I mean, you look at that price and you say, okay, wow, it's really fallen to 700 in a 9.8. But I'm like, it's a 15-year-old book, right? Like this book is plentiful. So I mean, that's the thing. It's not that people are out on miles. It's just like if you go right now, John, like go to Ultimate Fallout 4, and I gotta go.
Gabe's driving.
Oh, Gabe, if you go to Ultimate Fallout 4 and you just click on the eBay button, like you'll see how many copies are available. If it'll take you straight to eBay and it'll say like, you know, there's 900 something copies available out there. I mean, this is all supply and demand. This book is super plentiful out there. What does it say?
I remember I was working at a different comic book store when this came out. I remember racking this book.
2,400 plus results for Ultimate Fallout. Now, granted, there's a bunch of different variants and different treatments for that cover. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can't, you know, people are still buying this at $700 for a 9.8, which I think is good. Yes, it's fallen from that high. But back then, I mean, this was selling 100 copies a day. That's not sustainable without some little heat behind it.
Right. Everybody who wants a copy more or less has a copy.
Right. And the second he gets announced for live action, you're going to see it's not probably going to be, I don't think it can get back up to 3,500, but can it get back up to 1,500? Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
Like, so like you could probably double your money if you're buying them at $700 right now. And then even when, like, I mean, that book is even like a good book for long term. I'm talking 20 years. You kind of have to sit on this thing. But I mean, $700 is still not bad for a 9.8. I wouldn't cry about it.
That margin on the 9.9 though is insane. $31,000.
Was that a 9.9 or was that a 10?
That was a 9.9.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was last August, the 9.9. Well, I mean,
it was the only 9.9.
I mean, this is the thing. People say buy the book, not the grade, right? Like a 9.8 to a 9.9. What is it really that big of a difference? You know, and it's kind of like, is it worth?
Well, to that guy, and you see, I mean, if you get a 10 or a 9.9 like that, that jump is nuts. So I mean, I think there's enough people out there thinking it is.
I mean, I can't remember, but I don't think this book has that many 9.9s because you got to remember this was polybagged, and those polybags were brutal on the back, especially if they sat for a couple years. It just gave every single book a nice crease on that back, and it did not press out very well because the Marvel paper at the time was pretty cheap. So like once that crease got in there, it was pretty good in there. So like a lot of these high premium copies had to like come out of bags like, you know, year one, if not sooner.
That was always so hard to cut the poly bag because you're like, but should I?
Yeah, no, but
you have to cut it the right way so it doesn't snag the corner when you pull it out too.
Hard lessons right there, man.
It was bad. Everyone thought keep it in the poly bag. That's the best way. No, to get rid of them. Get out and get your books out of those poly.
You know what's worse is I kept my Death of Superman, cut it out, and I put the bag in, and then I bagged it with the bag behind it.
Raul sold his book at a height. See, congrats, way to go.
Well played.
Yeah, I had a 9.6 that I still, once it started dropping, I was like, oh, let me get rid of it. Still got like $1,500 for it, but yeah.
I don't give away
an Ultimate Fallout 9.8, but I have a 9.6.
Well, you gave away the 9.8 for a cover price giveaway when we first launched.
I gave away 4 copies of Ultimate Fallout 4. 4.
That's awesome.
And look where you are now.
8 copies, and I gave away 4. I think before then I sold maybe 1 or 2. When it hit $100, I was like, can't get better than that.
$100, man.
Right.
You get a cool
$100 for Ultimate Fallout 4. Yes, please.
Good day.
Good day, sir.
Suckers. Yeah, it's one of those kinds. I remember that's how it was in Walking Dead. I remember selling Walking Dead for like $300. Like, oh man, these suckers are paying $300 for this book.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then it blew up. The show came out, and it was like $1,000 raw. Yeah.
That Planet Comics book right there is probably one of my. I love Dave Stevens, and that's one of the books that I was looking at when it was affordable, and I just never pulled the trigger. It's like one of those books, like I kind of like definitely regret not buying. I looked at it for years, and I was like, I could get it, and it's not probably going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Famous last words, Matt. We've all been there. Absolutely.
Now it's just. I mean, it's not an obnoxious price, honestly, but it's still, $700 more than I was willing to pay.
Yeah.
Back then.
What's
Jeez.
it? I'll click on it. What's like raw prices and stuff going for it?
150 for
Yeah.
like for fine, but like for a near mint, you're close to 200. If it's near mint plus, you can get if like near mint copies of near mint plus copies
Yeah,
that sold
150
for
for raw.
500.
Did you know that off the top of your head, Matt?
Yeah, I've watched this book a lot. So.
Oh, okay.
He really wants this book.
You
Yeah.
nailed it. 150, huh?
Yeah,
That's like it depends. If you buy it on a Tuesday, it's actually a 3%.
no, never buy on a Tuesday.
Tuesday, you fool.
I mean, a lot of these big COVID books, like Clone Wars, was a huge COVID buy. That first Ahsoka right there, that was a COVID darling. But at the same time, it was a book that was selling for like $1 for like years and years and years. And now it's still an $800+ 9.8. Like this is still a good, like it's still a very good book. It's not at the heights, but again, you look at $800 for a 9.8. That's way more than I would have ever anticipated for that book, even back then.
Where's the $4,200 for what's the top value?
Is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard fall.
Yeah. The other variant there is super popular too. Forget that.
Oh, the limited 1,000 one when they're on the
Yeah.
space, the little like scooters in space or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I gotta pop off. I gotta go pick up the kids. Yeah.
Well, why don't we wrap it up then?
Let's wrap it up. B.
Yeah.
There's so many good covers here. Like, just scroll down real quick. You got that Rose Besh, Why Not Willie there, which is like Rose Besh fans cannot find this book. That's the foil version, but the regular version is a $500 raw book. You scroll down, you got like a hard to find Sonic book that sold for $600. All these Sonic incentives.
The Run the Jewels, Howard the Duck, and the Rocket cover.
That was rad.
The Campbell Mary Jane cover, which is probably one of my favorite modern covers of all time, because I'm a big Campbell fan and again a Mary Jane fan. That's on the list here. You got a Voltron.
Oh, there's that Sonic. Yeah, that Sonic's great.
Yep, and that ASM 601. Oh,
Yeah, I have a print of this hanging on my wall. I got signed from J. Scott Campbell in 2009. Yeah.
I have the Black Cat Felicia's Loft.
That was cool.
Yeah, it just mirrors it. But that Voltron cover I want, that Alf the Choking the Seal cover I still want.
I love this book so much. I have a copy of this. I have a newsstand of it. I love it's my avatar in the Slack.
Oh, that's
Yeah, sorry.
no seals were harmed in this book. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I have that Spider-Man Noir. I've always debated, like, should I sell it? I'm like, but I love that. I love that cover. So
If you don't have to, then you don't need to, right?
yeah, I know. I'm not going to. But yeah, this is a fun first page here.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So good. Well, I'll just do a little quick plug if that's okay with you guys.
No.
Yeah, if you guys haven't signed up for Cover Price, give it a shot. Free trial, 5 days, collection management, price guide, rock grades, slab grades, content. We put out like 28 pieces of content a month, and new releases, FOC lists. Go see what everything's selling for before you buy it, all that stuff. But sign up.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Okay,
Gabe.
thanks for letting us crash your show.
No, I'm glad to have some company. I would have done this by myself. I was going with it, but I'm so glad to have some company.
No, and you were doing a great job. Thanks for like going with it. I appreciate it.
Oh,
So,
dude, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm all about just improving and making it work. So it's there. It's there.
cool.
All right, guys.
All right.
I'm out. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Boom. Where's the outro for this bad boy? I just did it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Keep digging in them long boxes, folks.
There you go.
For the entire crew, this is Tebow saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.